Hello, dear Sagittarius. I'm here to share your 2021 horoscope with you today. So, I'm excited about this because surely Sagittarius is one of my favorite signs. Of course, I've got 5 planets in Sagittarius. So, myself is very much affected here as well. I've got Moon in Sagittarius, conjunct in Jupiter. So definitely it means that I also have to listen to my own advice. Well, I guess 2020 was a ride for us. And 2021 is a lot easier year. We are going to have one very prominent aspect, which is going to be the Saturn and the Uranus square, which is basically going to be happening the entire year. The peaks are going to be in February, June, and December, but basically we will feel it continuously. Now, because it's a square aspect, the square is tension, friction, and challenges. Uranus will be in your sixth house, and Saturn has just recently moved into your third house. So let's just see what are these two planets. So Uranus can bring sudden surprises, especially in your health and daily routines. There could be sudden changes and breakthroughs at work, maybe some erratic routines or daily habits which need to be changed and quite quickly. The sixth house is something to do with your employers, employee kind of relationship, health routines, lifestyle, work habits, and even your pet as well. And Uranus is in the sign of Taurus, which is all about comfort zone. So the very first question we need to ask ourselves, Sagittarius, what is it we are hiding away from? Are we trying to hide behind our work? Um, and wherever Uranus is in your chart, basically it wants to kind of break free. So in a sense, we might be want to be breaking free from some type of unhealthy routines, or in a sense, we might want to break away from our workplace. Maybe the workplace is suffocating Uranus. I feel like I am tied to a chain and I want to be cutting those chains off my feet, right? Uranus, Aquarius is so much to do with your legs. So I want to be running away. So you need to ask yourself the question, why do I want to run away? Is it because it's hard for me to look at the reality? Is it because the responsibilities has become a burden or something like that? And then you've got Saturn with it, which is more like a hermit. And it would be very important to know that Uranus always wants to shake things up. It wants to shake up your belief system, and most probably around socializing, because Saturn is going through your third house. So the material side of life needs to be approached on a higher level. And it might be picking up new skills at work. Maybe you will be learning more this year. Maybe you are going to be taking part work-related courses. But very importantly, if you feel trapped in your everyday life, then it is important to shake things up a little bit and learn about social media channels, for instance. Learn new skills which you can integrate into your work in the next 20 years. And I do understand that 2020 was a restricting year for everyone. And you might not have had the chance to do things which you wanted to. But the question is, did you get used to it? And does it make you comfortable about the situation? Have you started giving up on things? Because 2021 for you was about focusing on other people around you, uh, making necessary connections, making powerful connections, so that this year you can use them and you can actually get them behind you. You also had to learn about relationships, and these two themes are going to be very prominent in 2021 as well, because you still have North Node in the 7th house. And 7th house is all about partnership, business partnership, romantic endeavors. It is kind of a reminder that we need to get out with our partner a little bit more and probably having a little bit more fun. And also by transforming your habits, patterns, routines, and even your diet, maybe going back to the gym, it could actually help you to feel better about yourself because Saturn is in the 3rd house, which is still the first quadrant. So that is very much about yourself. You know, in the 2nd house, while you had Saturn, Jupiter going through your 2nd house, you kind of had to learn about the foundation, right? And now you need to shake things up a little bit and gain additional knowledge so that you can start fresh. I think you especially going to be energized when Mars joins Uranus, and that's going to be happening already at the beginning of January. And actually, it could be a good time, for instance, to join the gym if you wanted to lose some weight. Let's not forget, we Sagittarius have got the tendencies to overdo things, like, right? So overeating, overworking, over loving someone, and so forth. That Uranus in your 6th house could really talk about breaking some old habits. As I said, Saturn was transiting your 2nd house between 2017 till 2020, and you had to lay down the foundation. You had to learn about your own values, probably boosting your confidence a little bit, and most probably saving money as well. So by now, you should have even started to implement some of these ideas, what you came up in the last 2-3 years. And Saturn in the 3rd house is kind of here to reveal that you need to improve your communication skills, maybe the way you approach your clients. Are you marketing in yourself? Do you use any type of PR? Are you advertising yourself? So that Saturn and Jupiter conjunction in your 3rd house is very much about dedicating your time to publish your ideas, your skills, so that you can attract more clients for you. And therefore, Uranus hopefully gives you that gift to become busy with your work. 6th house, right? And Saturn wants here to kind of collect all the data and analyze it and then coming up with a plan, having a strategy. And Jupiter is good to have here because it gives you the faith to do so. Of course, we're talking about the square between Uranus and Saturn. So Uranus always wants you to do things fast. Saturn wants you to do things in moderation, focusing on the details. So what you can do is grab some of your old ideas, bring them back, and then somehow revolutionize them. Some of you, of course, had challenges with their financials. So Saturn could be gloomy in the 2nd house, but now it is about coming up with some new ideas and then how can I make money out of those ideas? And especially it's going to be the topic once Jupiter moves into your 4th house, which is going to be mid-May in 2021, because 4th house is the 2nd from the 3rd. So how I can make money from my ideas. Another question I would like to ask you, Sagittarius, have you been trying to revive your business? Did it work? Did it not work? Because if it didn't work, then you know it is time to move on and getting new job skills and then eventually start something fresh. And maybe from May onwards, you can already think about other fields you can do and you can lay down the foundation for that. Remember, Saturn is like a focal point. So it focuses on things which matters. Third house is learning and data, and Jupiter is higher education. So this is definitely a learning curve for you. So it's brilliant time to study something new and use those skills in the next 20 years. Jupiter and Saturn conjunction in our lives, basically it marks our fate for the following 2 decades. And yes, Uranus can make you anxious because there's the nerve system planet, and you might suffer to come out of your shell. And yes, some of you might face some health challenges as well, but those would be happening because you are holding back. And probably you are frustrated about your life and you forget to think. You forget to crack your brain, right? Third house way of thinking, the thought process. And Saturn is all about like the bricks and cracking things. So you should be thinking about, okay, new softwares, new technology in my business, how I can take it to the global level, and Saturn is very reluctant to use these. And the reason being is because it's all about the tested things. Oh, I've used that before, it worked extremely well. You need to understand it's not working anymore. You need to move on. And so it can also indicate that you might become a web developer. So you might want to be refreshing your skills around how to build a website, third house website. But also I would like to mention that maybe it's time to make a professional website for your own business. And if you need help with that, just drop me an email because my IT guy is brilliant. Another thing which comes to my mind is that your working conditions might be very oppressive, and it might kind of give you like a rebellious attitude. Perhaps there are changes going on at work, or they are shifting profile as well, or they are moving offices, and somehow that is frustrating you or getting out of your comfort zone. You might not get along with a couple of your coworkers, and actually those people can bring some sudden turn in your life. So are you trying to quit your job because of that tension, or do you somehow feel suffocated by the working environment? So maybe is it the mask you have to wear and then you are fed up with it? Or you see some type of injustice. Some people have to wear the mask, some don't. So ask yourself the question, what is frustrating me? Because Uranus brings things out of the blue. It's unexpected. So to predict with Uranus is one of the hardest ones ever, because with Uranus you always have to mention to look out for the unexpected. You might get sick, unfortunately, out of blue, but I think that's the very last straw. It would only happen if Uranus thinks that you need a major awakening in your life. So if you get sick, then you know you need to break ground. You need to become unique and somehow thinking outside the box. Um, Also, because Jupiter is going to be entering your fourth house somewhere in the middle of the year, it could actually indicate great time, for instance, that to renovate your property, or you might want to rent out your place. You might actually want to relocate, or it could also indicate that you want to be working from home. You might want to be discovering some type of alternative healing methods, or new fitness routine you can start, and that could be very transformative to you. Be careful because that Saturn in the third house can make you obsessed with little details, and you might become overwhelmed with the by the huge amount of information. So remember that do things with moderation, pick the right information, use like an Excel sheet, for instance, and then see the data through. Um, these planetary alignments can also indicate that you might spend more time traveling in relation to your work or even because of family responsibilities. Um, this transit might bring you some type of hardship with your sibling, or you might get to know that your sibling is going through a phase, maybe a divorce, maybe work challenges. Maybe they are unable to find a property or they have been trying to rent the property because the sixth house, Uranus, is fourth from the third, right? So their family and somehow their immediate environment could be going through a transformation. And of course, it's going to be affecting you as well somehow. So with Saturn Uranus square taking place in the third house, we are expecting communication breakdowns and difficulties, or somehow feelings of isolation as well. And the reason being is because you have got hardship to express yourself the way you want to, right? Saturn is the planet of restriction. So I would also suggest that get your IT guy to kind of get ready that maybe some of the systems will crash, payroll systems, if especially if you are a boss, maybe doing regular updates, software updates. These are going to be very, very important. Work on the social media aspect because that could be extremely helpful to you. Well, dear Sagittarius, I hope you've received enough information of how to get ready for 2021. I think the year for us is not going to be extremely difficult. We are famous of being optimistic and having faith in something. So don't forget about that because if you are optimistic, you are always halfway there. Don't allow yourself to get knocked down by a situation in your work environment because actually that is kind of helping you to think about different ideas of what else can I come up with, what else are my talents? Third house is very much about your hands and shoulders and arms. So what else can I do with my hands? So the handmade things can be very important for you in 2021. And just watch out for that thought process. So slow down, sit down for a second, take a sharp definition of what you want actually to communicate about. So there is not going to be some type of misunderstandings going on. Also, I would like to mention that you still have got Pluto going through your second house. In 2021, it's going to be between 24 to 26 degree. So especially those are affected who has got their midheaven within those degrees. I would say that could be a favorable time to actually use manipulation skills in your career and not in a harsh way. For instance, marketing uses plenty of manipulation to kind of tease people to buy their products and so on. And also the manipulative skills like being a little bit charming towards the clients and the customers so they always return, right? That's very much a Plutonian talent, but also it can bring you a major transformation in your career as well. Now, those who have got planets in the second house within those degrees, then definitely a restructuring of the financials. I would not necessarily spend money if you had planet in the second house between 24 to 26, because it might end up getting lost. Great. Well, I wish you a wonderful Christmas period, a prosperous 2021. And I also would like to thank you for your continuous support in 2020. And I hope to see you in 2021 as well. Take care of yourself and see you next year. Bye-bye.